In this session, we're going to look at a variation of the hoax photo. And we're going to take the concept of placing yourself somewhere where you wished you were but haven't been. So, for example, in this one, I've got two examples I'll show you of placing myself in an Irish jam session. I wish I'd been able to sit and play in an Irish session. So if we look at, there's a black and white photo of a session there. I wish I'd be able to join in with something like that. Or another one here. Maybe something like this. I would love to have been able to do something like that when I was in Ireland. But having neither the level of skill that they have nor the opportunity sort of makes it a bit difficult. So I'm going to show you both of those. Now, in both cases, I've had to have a source photo. So the source photo for the black and white one has been this one here. That's me there playing in a session at my local pub. And what I've done is I've used the object selection tool in Photoshop to remove myself from the background, and we can have a quick look here. It's me with the background removed there. And I tidied up the edges a bit around here so it would look a bit better. Now, that was a really easy one to do because there's the example there. I was able just to sit myself in front of it. So I'll quickly show you how to do this, but then I'll show you a more detailed version of it. So rather than starting from scratch, I quite simply got this one as my background. Just zoom in a bit. I dragged in the layer that was me. So drag that in there. I would have scaled it. Go to get the appropriate size. I'm going to work around there, maybe a little bit bigger. If I'm sitting forward, I need to be fractionally bigger. So that's not too bad there. We'll just leave that as that. And then obviously, because that's colour and the rest of it's black and white, adjustments, and I would have just desaturated it. I just want to come up. I have to rasterise the layer. Happens all the time. Now I'll go image adjustments and desaturate. There I am. So I could play around with the contrast and brightness if I wanted to. I could add a little bit of noise. So I might go filter, might choose noise, and I might add some dust and scratches. I'll just accept the defaults there, just so it looks a little bit more like a traditional film photo that this would have been. And so that's how I would have created that one quite simply. I'm pretty close, I've just moved the positions. So there's the actual finished one I showed you earlier. And that's the one that I've just done then. So if I wanted to match that up, I'd move this over here a bit more. Because I wanted to cover up that bloke there maybe. Take him out of play. That's pretty close to what I did. So that's really easy. So there I am playing an Irish jam session. There's not a lot to do in that one. It's quite simple. So I won't save that. However, this one required a little bit more work. For a start, I had to find a photo that was appropriate and the angle that was appropriate. and I was lucky enough to find this one on my phone. And able to use that. Now there's a couple of problems with this image, as you're going to see in a little bit. We will work with it. So I use the object selection tool again, and or the eraser, or a combination, to get my image out. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn off. So there's the layer that I'm working with. Originally, with the object selection tool, I didn't have all the sheet music selected, so I had to go redo it and select the sheet music. Now, first thing I did was I dragged myself into that photo, and so it worked. I had to flip it horizontally because I'm a right-hander, not a left-hander. So I would have gone edit, transform, and flip horizontal. So I'll just turn it around there. So that's how it would have been when I dragged it in, and that wasn't quite working for me. So edit, transform, and flip horizontal. So that's what I've got. But I'm sitting in front of the table, or on the table, and that doesn't work. So I created a copy of my background. Just turn that off. Put that layer above me, and you see, quite simply, I've just erased out around where I am sitting. So when I open both backgrounds, you can't tell the difference, but I've come through. Had to be careful to go around here and keep it nice and tight. I also had to be a little bit careful with my sheet music here, because the stand just has to sit gently over the top of the table for it to look reasonable. Now, if I just open up the old image, you can see my legs there are a little bit too light compared to what I've got here. So what I had to do was to burn them in. So I'll just go to this other one with the dodgy bit. So I went to the smudge tool. Here we go. The dodge and burn tool. Zoom to, where are we? Can't see if you're looking. There we go. The dodge tool. Dodge lightening up. I want the burn tool. I've got to click onto this layer here. Now, I wanted to make sure my midtones, if I've only got my highlights or my shadows selected, it won't work as well. So I started with midtones, made it, again, soft edged and a little bit bigger than I've got there, and I carefully began to burn in, which is darkening down my image. As you can see, I had my exposure on 50% so it didn't get too dark too quickly. And you can see it slowly darkening. Trying to darken in here. Also darkened up here a little bit, because there'd be a bit of shadow from there. I did that for both legs. Quite a few goes until I got it as dark as I needed. So if we turn the other one on, you can see quite dark. This leg down here basically is almost blacked right out because of the shadow. Just left enough tone here so you can see the foot sitting there so it doesn't look out of context. So there I am. I'm playing in my Irish Jam session. I'm sitting behind the table. I'm looking at some sheet music because I'm not as clever as they are, and I'm playing my mandolin, in this case left-handed. We can zoom in a bit and you can see that it's cut out reasonably well, and that's basically just using the object selection tool. I haven't fiddled around too much. You will see this, tilt really carefully, the tuning pegs have disappeared off that side, but I don't think anyone's going to notice too much in the image. So there's my versions of I Wish I Was. I Wish I Was. Irish jam session. You might put yourself in a band. I wish I was playing with the Beatles. I wish I was surfing at some Hawaiian beach or something like that. It doesn't have to be like that. So it's an extension of the hoax photo, but it's got a particular focus. It's not just creating something that is unreal for the sake of it being not real. It's putting a context and a story with it. And sort of that task could be coupled with a small written exercise explaining why you wish you were doing what you were doing and so on. So quickly, you need to have source photos. You need to be conscious of the angles in which the original photos were taken. So if I was to just quickly go back to this one again, that wouldn't have worked for that second image because it's taken from sort of almost my own eye level. So I had to find this one that I knew I had where it was taken from above me. You can actually see the person taking the photo there, standing up and looking down at me, because that was going to match the photo that I had here. Again, finding the right photo, I had two of these, but I didn't think I could fit myself in there very well. I did think about it, so I went to this photo here because I've got this blank space here, and the angle was close enough. Same as with this one. I'll go for the PSD. The angle of view was pretty similar to the other photo that I had, so it makes it sit in pretty well. With this one, the only thing that I wish that I had was if my head was turned slightly towards the other player. Maybe I'd have hunted more carefully through the photos I had. I might have had one where I would have been looking towards the back a little bit more, which would have matched it, but doesn't matter that much. But that's if I want to be ultra critical. That was what I would have thought about. So begin playing. Collect your resource photo. Think of your story. Make a note of what your story is going to be, and begin to create.